by now, I think everyone has heard that Unraid is changing their license model moving forward. Now, as far as I'm aware, they haven't announced the exact date when these changes are coming, but they are coming. So if you are on the fence about buying a key, buy it now while you can so you can get updates for life and you can avoid the new subscription-based model. Now, this isn't your typical subscription-based model or like a modern subscription-based model that you see everywhere today where you pay $5 to $10 or even pay for a full year worth of access to the software. This is more of the traditional model where you walk into Circuit City, you see Power DVD version 3, you buy Power DVD version 3, and you get to use Power version DVD and all of its features for life, assuming that your operating system supports it, in 20 years, or whatever it may be. So that's basically what it is. And then, when version 5 comes out, you can choose to buy version 5 or just continue using 3. Your choice, whatever it is. That's the model that Unraid's going with. And I think that's probably the smart choice because it allows people the option to just continue using their current version or, pay a fee, essentially a fee, to upgrade to whatever the newest, greatest version is and have access to all of those new features forever. Now, it makes sense why Unraid has to move to this model because how else are they going to sustain themselves? I mean, the amount of money they could spend on marketing just to always constantly drudge in new users, while it's probably possible, it's highly expensive. And I don't know how that's sustainable in the long run. And then you've got to pay the marketing department all this money to bring in new users, and you still got to pay current developers and new developers money to create new features that the community is requesting. So I think this is a smart move because it reduces their marketing costs, allows them to get regular revenue every year or however long from new users, and they can use that money in turn to pay the people that they need to add the new features that the community are asking for, like ZFS, high availability, or whatever it may be, whatever the new crazy new feature is going to be, 5-10 years from now, or how many ever years from now. They have to have a way to have access to that talent pool, and obviously the easiest way to have access to a talent pool you don't have access to currently is to pay them a bunch of money. So to me that makes sense why they have to move to the subscription-based model. I think this is the best way to do it. Now there's going to be 3 different keys that are available. There's the starter, which gives you access to all of the updates for a year. You can use 4 attached storage devices in your pool. And yeah, I think that's really it. I think that's all you get with the starter one. And then they have the Unleashed, which is unlimited devices, also a year worth of updates. And then there is the Lifetime version, which I believe is going to be more expensive than today's Pro version, but my understanding is that you get lifetime updates and lifetime new features added to it. It's just going to be much more expensive than the starter and Unleashed versions. So, and I think also the starter and Unleashed versions are actually going to be cheaper than today's basic and whatever the medium key is today. So that's also really cool that there's technically a price reduction for 2 of the keys and a price hike for the Pro or Unlimited Forever key. So I think that was also a good decision. Now, like I mentioned earlier, so Unraid 6 comes out, you bought a year worth of or a year worth of access. We'll say a year's worth of access. You get access to the operating system forever, but access to updates and security features. So while that's awesome, I think one of the downsides is that let's say that your license expires on December 31st, and on January 3rd, a critical vulnerability is discovered. Well, guess what? The only way to get access to that new update to fix that critical vulnerability, you have to pay money for. And I think that kind of sucks. I think Unraid should find a way to give at least 2 to 3 years worth of security patches to the older versions of Unraid, kind of like how other operating systems like Windows, for instance, just because Windows 7 no longer gets updates doesn't technically mean it still doesn't get security patches. So I think there'd be a lot more value to everyone especially new users, if they bought a key, that they would also get security patches for 2 to 3 years. It doesn't have to be 5, 10 years or anything crazy, but I think 2 to 3 years is reasonable, and that would also add a little bit more value to anyone who decides to just buy the license one time on Unraid version 6 and keep Unraid version 6 until Unraid version 10 comes out and they're like, yeah, I need to have ZFS version 2. So I think that would add value. That's really my only gripe with it, is that the security patches are also limited to that 1 year time frame. I understand why it is like that currently. Maybe that's something that changes in the future. Unraid's not going to watch the video, so I mean, it's up to you guys to ask for that kind of stuff. There's nothing I can do for you there. Now, one thing that's also cool, so if you get the starter key and the unleashed key, and you do want to upgrade from version 6 to version 7, my understanding is that for like 50% of the cost of a new key, you can upgrade to version 7. So you're getting essentially a 50% discount on purchasing a new key with another year's worth of updates. That's also really cool. That's not something I remember seeing from traditional companies. Like, you know, you typically have to buy whatever the newest version of their software is at full price in order to get access to all of the features. And what's cool about that is, you know, you're getting a discount, and who doesn't like a discount? So I think that was a good move by Unraid. And honestly, I think that's really it. There's nothing really to complain about, in my opinion. You know, yes, it's not free, and yes, you pay for it once. Well, technically you can. If you bought a key today, you would get lifetime updates forever. So, you know, now's your chance. But yeah, so that does kind of suck. They still technically have a lifetime option, even though it'll be more expensive. So I don't really know. In my opinion, there's really nowhere to complain. Now, I know a lot of people can pick this apart and be like, subscription's bad, no matter what kind of subscription it is. But honestly, I don't know how you can sustain a company without having some sort of revenue. Unraid doesn't run ads on their website, so there's no ad revenue they generate, and ad revenue is not going to sustain a company of their size at all, and especially if they intend on growing. So, I mean, what do you want them to do? What can they do? I have no idea. They can possibly make a new product, but that's expensive. Maybe they should charge all the Unraid Connect people $5 a month. That's an option, but I'm pretty sure those people would be very upset if they suddenly had to start paying for, well, it's not, yeah, Unraid Connect, yeah. I almost called it my servers. So they're in a tight place, and I think with the path they have chosen, that's probably the best move they can make to minimize the frustration, anger, anxiety of as many users as possible. Is it perfect? No. Are there better options? Maybe. I don't know what they are. Maybe if you have better ideas, you should tell somebody at Unraid, get on the forums right now and let them know a better approach. I personally don't know any. My only real gripe is that you're cut off from security patches after a year. I think it'd be really cool of them to add, 2 to 3 years of security updates, maybe not new features for the old server or for the old licenses, or whatever. But I think that's really my only gripe. So I'm starting to lose track here and kind of hit different topics all over the place. So I think we're going to end the video here, and that's going to sum up my thoughts and opinions on the matter. And, as always, guys, I appreciate everyone watching my videos and supporting this channel. So with that all being said, thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.